Today we are going to discuss SAP BW basics. These are the course contents. So, intro. The first topic is introduction to SAP BI. Then what is ECC? Then info object. Then data source. Then info package. Transformation. Data transfer process, which is also known as DTP. Data store object, which is also known as DSO. Info cube, multi-provider, and then info set. First topic is introduction to SAP BI. SAP Business Intelligence is a data analytics tool that is used to fetch, cleanse, transform, and consolidate the business data to make it available for reporting. Till 3.5 version, it is called SAP BW, and after 3.5 version, which is starting from 7.0, it is called SAP BI. So we need SAP BI tool because organizations have different kinds of data such as finance, human resource, customers, supplier data, etc., which can be stored on different kinds of storage units such as DBMS, Excel sheets, SAP R3 system, etc. And even the company's internal data is often distributed across many different systems and is not particularly well formatted. So in order to consolidate different data from the different background or from the different storage units into the one frame, we use SAP BI tool. What is ECC? ECC is also called SAP R3 system and is a system which is used to post all the functional related raw data related to customer transactions. ECC is used as a source of data for SAP BW flow and reporting. ECC is known as Enterprise Central Component and has several modules like finance, material management, sales and distribution, human capital management, human resource COPA, production planning, quality management, plant maintenance, project system, etc. So ECC is a system or is a different box where all the postings related to the customer transactions happen directly from the vendor side. And ECC contains all the raw data which should be loaded into the or which will be loaded into the SAP BW after it gets posted into ECC. Info object. Info object is the smallest unit of information used in the SAP BI. Info objects are of two types, characteristic and key figure. Characteristic contains the general information of the data like name, address, etc. Key figure contains the information of amount, quantity, etc. Characteristics are of three types, attribute, text, hierarchy. Attribute is a characteristic that is logically assigned and subordinated to another characteristic. It is of two types, navigation and display. Navigation means if we want to drill down particular information of a person, like if we want to find out in which area he or she lives, so we can first go to the country and then we drill down to state or province, and then we can drill down to city, and then we can goes to area. So navigational attribute comes into place where we need to drill down the information, and display is just for the display purpose like name, phone number, etc. Text, it contains a description of the attributes. Description means if a plant code is 010 and it is basically assigned to Sri Lanka, so Sri Lanka is the text or the description of the attribute plant code 010. Hierarchy, it contains the values of a characteristics in tree structure. Suppose if a record is given in the row function in a row wise, so if we want to display that record in the tree structure, then we can go for hierarchy. Data source, a BW data source is a structure which is created in the source system and replicated to the BW system. Maintaining a data source in a source system is doing any changes related to the data source. It could be adding or deleting fields or checking the flags in the data source like hide and selection flag. So BW data source is just a structure. It defines how the field should be organized or in which order, and the order should be the same as that of mentioned in ECC system. Data sources are of two types, standard and generic. Standard is defined by SAP system only. Generic is a user defined which we create in transaction code RSO2. Data sources are used for master data, text data, hierarchy data, and transaction data. Info package. The info package is an entry point for SAP BI to request data from a source system. Info packages are tools for organizing data requests that are extracted from the source system and are loaded into the BW system. In short, loading data into the BW is accomplished using info packages. So info package comes into place when we have to load the data from SAP R3 or ECC system to BW system. So a request contains all the data which is uploaded with an info package, and it has a unique ID. Over time, an info package can be used to load data in several requests in one ratio and relationship. So once the data is loaded, a request ID is being assigned to that data request, and if we want to load that same data to the further data targets above, then we can do it in one to n relationship. During the creation of an info package request, the BW sends a request IDOC to the source system, notifying it that BW is ready to receive the data. Additionally, so-called info IDOCs are also transferred to provide metadata information. So, request IDOC comes into place when SAP BW is ready to extract the data from SAP R3 or ECC system. So a request IDOC is just sent from the BW system to the ECC system for the communication purpose only. Transformation. A transformation is used to perform data consolidation, cleansing, and data integration. When data is loaded from one BI object to another BI object, transformation is applied on the data. Transformation is used to convert a field of source into the target object format. Transformations are built up from rules which bind one or more fields of the source structure to a given field of the target structure. Below are the rules which can be applied at transformation level: constant, direct assignment, formula, initial, routine, read master data. Constant is just we just need to pass a constant value, a particular value to the target field, and whatever the data comes for that particular field, it should display only that particular constant value. It should not vary. Direct assignment. Direct assignment is just to map a source field to the target field. Formula comes into place when we just need to do the plus minus multiplication or division calculation of some combination of the source fields. Initial comes into place when we need not to, when the source field is not mapped to the target field. Routine comes into the place when we need to write a code, an ABAP code at the target field level, at the transformation level. In case if suppose to satisfy one condition, like if plant code is 010, then this particular value should be passed as a result in the result set of the target field. So in that case, we can use a routine. Read master data comes into place when we just need to extract the data directly from the master data info object. Data transfer process. The data transfer process DTP includes a description of how data within a BW is to be loaded from a source object to a target object using transformations and filters. As a unique identification, each request is given a 25-character unique ID with prefix DTPR underscore. The ID is immediately created during the instantiation of a new request and is converted into a SID according to InfoObject 0 REQ UID. At single record level for all load processes, the management of incorrect data should separate out single records that contain errors, enable the user to correct the cause, and eventually update them once more. So DTP comes into the place when we just move the data within the BW system. So once the data is loaded from ECC system to the BW system by info package through info package, that data which has been extracted from the ECC system by info package needs to be distributed among different data targets, and to distribute that data to the different data targets, we use DTP. So DTP also handles incorrect data records. It captures the error records into that, and now it depends upon the user whether he or she wants to load that incorrect records to the further data targets or not. So if a person wants to load that incorrect records to the further data targets, he or she has to first correct them, and then he or she can load into the further data targets. Data store object DSO. A data store object serves as a storage location for consolidated and cleansed transaction data or master data at document or at atomic level. A data store object contains key fields, document number or item for example, and data fields that can also contain character fields, order status or customer for example as key figures. So data DSO has two sections, key field and data field. Key field contains only characteristics. Data field is a combination of characteristic as well as the key figures. Unlike multidimensional data storage using InfoCubes, the data in data store object is stored in transparent flat database tables. The cumulative update of key figures supported for data store objects just as it is with InfoCubes, but with data store object it is also possible to override data fields. So DSO has two features or properties, addition as well as the override. So it can do the addition of the key fields or it can override the key field. Key figures. A DSO is of three types: standard, write optimized, and direct update. Standard contains three tables: active table, new table, and change log table. Write optimized contains one table, active table. Direct update contains one table, that is active table. Standard DSO need activation step once the data is getting loaded. Write optimized doesn't need activation step. Direct update doesn't need activation step. InfoCube. An InfoCube is a quantity of relational tables arranged according to the star schema. A large fact table in the middle surrounded by several dimension tables. Only basic InfoCubes and transactional InfoCubes physically contain data in the database. Virtual InfoCubes are only logical views of a dataset. A basic InfoCube is a type of InfoCube that physically stores data. It is filled with data using BW staging. Afterwards, it can be used as an info provider in BEX reporting. Transactional InfoCubes differ from basic InfoCubes, their ability to support parallel write access. A remote InfoCube is an InfoCube whose transaction data is not managed in the business information warehouse but externally it can be. Only the structure of the remote cube is defined in BW. The data is read for reporting using a BAPI from another system. InfoCube has two tables, if table and F table. Multi-provider is a type of info provider that combines data from a number of info providers and makes it available for analysis purpose. A multi-provider itself doesn't contain any data. Its data entirely come from the info providers on which it is based. These info providers are connected to one another by a union operation. A multi-provider allows you to analyze data based on several info providers. InfoSet. An InfoSet is a data source defined as a join between ODS object characteristics or cubes. An InfoSet is not itself a data target, it doesn't store data. A join condition determines the combination of records from the individual objects that are included in the resulting set. Usually, when defining InfoSets, the objects are linked via inner join operators. However, you can also use left outer joins. Inner join and left outer join are only different in the situation where one of the involved tables doesn't contain any suitable record which meets the join conditions. Within InfoSet, several info providers can be joined. Within this object, one and the same info object or attribute can occur several times. So the basic difference between InfoSet and multi-provider is based on union operation and InfoSet is based on join operation. And however, they both are depends upon the info providers which are in ODS objects or DSO and characteristics. or info queue.